Being social should not come at the expense of your happiness or, the value of your life. Hello, welcome to Exemplify, and thank you for stopping by. So, I'm awkward. Like, really awkward. I've always been this way as long as I can remember, as far back as I can remember. I used to be a really fat kid. And when I was a really fat kid, I had no social skills whatsoever. I didn't really understand social cues, and I was very abrasive. And whenever I said something, it was to get attention. It wasn't really because I was, wise, or I was speaking my own thoughts because I wanted to be heard about anything important. It was just, hey, I'm gonna say this really outrageous thing and hope that, it gets a rise out of you or you pay attention to me. And that approach did work, honestly. I got attention, but it wasn't the right attention. People hated me. I didn't have many friends. I was bullied a whole lot, and it's not justification for the bullying. It's never cool to put somebody down or hurt them physically. But I was very annoying, and a lot of the time I would egg people on, and it wasn't cool on my part either. Fast forward a couple years to high school, and now I'm just a skinny, abrasive person with no social skills. I felt like during this time I started to bloom into like a kind of somewhat attractive person, so I had a little bit more friends at that point in my life. I don't know if that was proper grammar. And I'm not shooting my own horn. I'm not saying that to say like, hey, I was so attractive that all these people liked me. It was more like my only redeeming quality was that my face was symmetrical. So I was walking around still being a dickhead, still being somebody that people probably talked behind my back, but I was oblivious to it. It didn't matter to me because I had more friends, I was getting the attention that I wanted, and that was top priority. Soon after I graduated high school, I continued the same actions that I was, going throughout high school and throughout middle school. Except this time, I was full of myself. So not only was I acting out to get attention, I was also really conceited for no reason. I had no talent, I had no skills, I had no job. I was just living off the fact that, again, my face was symmetrical. This made me think I was hot shit. And this is the time in my life when I started partying a whole bunch. I started taking a lot of drugs, experimenting with drugs, drinking alcohol. It's also the time in my life where I got really, really intoxicated at this party, at a hotel, passed out, blacked out, and then I was awakened by a police officer. The cop was jabbing me with his nightstick, and he was like, hey, you gotta get up, you can't be here. The only problem was I was too drunk to stand, move, walk, any of it. But thankfully, I made such good friends that night that somebody helped me up and walked me outside. Once we were outside, they sat me down on a bench and they were like, I'll be right back. Never saw that person again in my life. While on this bench, I decided to lay back down because I was not in good shape. I laid there for a couple moments before I hear footsteps approaching me. We got a passed out man on the bench here. And despite my pleas that, hey officer, I'm conscious, I'm speaking to you, therefore can't be passed out, they still called an ambulance for me. I don't know if you know how expensive ambulance rides are, but they're very expensive. Hospital rooms, also very expensive. And those are bills that I'm still paying off to this day because I was an idiot back in the day and I was just drinking and, looking for attention in all the wrong places. Not much later, I realized that when all you want to do is party and drink, the only people that you're going to attract to you are people that want to party and drink. There's nothing intrinsically wrong with that, but those people aren't going to have your best interest at heart. Those people have their best interest at heart. And furthermore, during that time, I was only drinking to mask the fact that I had no social skills. I couldn't speak to somebody when I was sober. I was awkward. I stumbled over myself. I was too cocky. I looked for attention. And the only way that I could overcome my crippling anxiety was to, drink. But fast forward a couple years, I started working at Crunch Fitness as a front desk attendant. So I'm out here handing out free 3-day guest passes to Crunch, the best gym in the world, and I see this. Somebody left their goddamn baby in the car. Disgusting. I would, greet the people as they came in. I would scan their badges. I would help them out with whatever questions they had. This really equipped me to speak to people at a large scale because I was speaking to hundreds of people during the day. And again, during this time, I was still not the social butterfly that I am today. I was wondering why I didn't get a warm reception from people, why people didn't like me, why countless people described me as an asshole. Like, I was really baffled and kind of hurt by it. And it really stemmed from not being self-aware. Me becoming a social person really began at that point at Crunch, because I read this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. This book is the key to happiness for me. It taught me how to smile. It taught me how to have disagreements with people without it escalating into an argument. It taught me how to do a whole bunch of things. It told me to admit when I'm wrong. It really saved my life, because if I never read this book, then I would still be that really abrasive person who's walking through life not understanding why people don't like him. And now I'm not the most, I don't have the most friends or anything like that. I'm not the most social even, but this is the point in my life where I'm most healthy. I'm most happy with my connections, and my friends and my relationships are the most fulfilling ever. I don't have those, those friends off to the side that are just there, my party friends. I don't have people who are just there to have a good time. Anybody that's in my life right now, I've fostered that relationship because I want them to be in my life. And furthermore, the people that are in my life make my life better. You don't want to be around people that make your life worse. Being social should not come at the expense of your happiness or, the value of your life. What I've learned through years of not being liked and through reading this book is that I can just be myself. And myself isn't that abrasive person that just wants to get attention. That's not me. The real me is somebody who just wants to make connections with people and just wants to have a good experience with others. And to do that, I need to foster that experience myself. I need to create an environment where people want to speak to me, where people are, approaching me on the street because I have a smile on my face and I'm not scowling all the time. And I've also been pushed to a place where I want to maximize my ability to socialize with people. Because we're social beings, and the only way that I'm going to be successful in my life is if I'm social with other people and I go out and I speak to them. I don't want to hide anymore. I don't want to lie anymore. I don't want to front anymore. I just want to be me and succeed in life. And it all started with this book right here. So I would highly recommend it to all of you. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I'm not all the way there yet with my goal of being the most social I can be, but I'm on my way. So to all the people that witnessed me being awkward throughout my life, I thank you. I genuinely thank you for judging me and for not rewarding that behavior. All right, guys, stay tuned for a less awkward Ben Vasquez, all right? Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day. Maybe subscribe to me. I would appreciate that too.